we're back. Let's talk some football. We'll talk to Don Memori coming up at 4:25. So many people at the UConn men's basketball practice this week. It's crazy. We're like Duke or North Carolina with our craziness for a basketball team. It's about stinking time, but we'll talk to Don Memori coming up next hour. Let's talk some football right now. We're getting closer and closer. Had the Hall of Fame game last week. Obviously, that was huge, getting you ready for Hall of Fame weekend for the NFL. Now we've got about 50 days, even less, before some of these schedules open up in the NFL. Even quicker turnaround for college football. So let's talk about countdown to kickoff.
Tyreek Hill's deal is probably the biggest news in the NFL right now. I mean, the Miami Dolphins, like you were saying before the break, they're just kind of finagling the deal around so they can make room for more deals and possibly help their team here in the 3 weeks we have for the preseason. Now, he's one they want to keep, but Tyreek wants to join his former team, the Kansas City Chiefs, in some multi-titles for this team. And to do that, some extra money could go a long way. So his 120 original deal has been shifted and more so backloaded, where it makes it more team friendly for the next 2 years for the Miami Dolphins. And maybe, just maybe, they spend it in their offensive line, which could need some beefing up, or possibly more defense, which their defense should be a lot better this year than
so out of the 120, they restructured $90 million of it, bringing his guaranteed total up to one of the highest of any wide receiver. So the next 3 years, $65 million of the 90 will be guaranteed. And like we've talked about this before, what they do is instead of paying you in a salary, they'll give you in a bonus. So here's a bonus check. You know what? Hey, we owe you this money. In 2 years, we're going to give you $20 million of it in a check. That's not part of the salary cap. This is what I don't understand. You gave the guy 120. It should be 120. It should count against you, whether or not you're doing it. But this is something Tom Brady did like 4 different times.
Exactly.
With a lot of different teams. I get Patrick Mahomes has already redone his deal. I know Travis Kelce has redone his deal. So if you want to win, you have to restructure and within the rules of the salary cap and the restructuring of contracts and stuff. So I give Tyreek Hill a lot of credit. He wants to win. He's doing it badly enough to say, take some of my money, Shohei Ohtani it to me, after football or on the back end of my contract. But let's try to win in the next couple of years while we're all young.
So right now there's 2 real seasons in the NFL. It's not preseason just yet. It is blotter season and it is injury season. Blotter report. Oh, man, Mr. Addison of the Minnesota Vikings, wide receiver, a DUI in the NFL is hard to get since you can call anytime, anywhere, and get a free ride for you being drunk so you don't have to drive. Just so stupid.
So at this point in 2024, if you've been drinking, I don't care if you're 2 blocks from your house, you could call, get an Uber, but they're going to bring a limo for you.
Yeah.
They're going to make sure you don't become part of the police blotter. Mm-hmm. And these guys refuse to do it. And now it's just that because there's a lull in any kind of news other than a salary restructure or God forbid, the stinking injuries, which are painful to read off. The guy gets a DUI, and now you're going back and forth with California on this stupid thing.
Yeah, Jordan Addison pulled over in West Los Angeles. He'll have to go back there October 7th, waiting on the suspension. He could face a suspension. Oh, he should face a suspension from the NFL. Like, man, this is...
New York just suspended Justin Timberlake's license. Like, why are you even driving? Dude, you need to drive somewhere? That's just insane to me.
Point. On the injury season front, Cam Sample goes down with a torn Achilles, defensive end for the Cincinnati Bengals. This is definitely going to put a wrench in their plans for the season. Man, the Bengals always deal with one in the preseason out for the season. And not new in 2024, Cam Sample. Hopefully he gets back on the field in 2025 because he's going to be out the rest of the year. Puka Nacua had a knee injury, just a twist is what the report is. He's week to week. Puka should be ready to go start week 1. I know I'm saying this for fantasy football players. Should be ready to start week 1. Huge part of this offense. They're going to baby this knee thing all the way until week 1. My bet is he will be playing week 1, and my bet is he will be a significant fantasy get if you draft.
I like this breaking news. Adam Schefter talking about the Houston Texans will play their starters against the Pittsburgh Steelers coming up this Friday in an exhibition game. C.J. Stroud will be thrown to Stephon Diggs as they acquired Diggs from the Buffalo Bills. If you were living under a rock and you didn't know that. So they're trying to get themselves gelled together, and they want to play in an actual football game, and they're going to play Friday night against the Steelers.
The Thursday of this week, we have preseason football. The New York Giants will be on the field this week. Bunch of other games, too. So these ones are big for building your roster. We'll see who makes the team, who gets kicked off the team, who gets traded to another team. We shall see. I'm a big fan of preseason, especially when the starters get in every once in a while. That would be nice, but we shall see what we get here week 1 coming up. Now, in the summer, we typically have some rando top 5 lists, and we're ready to do that today. Things got kind of mixed around with Dom moving to 4 o'clock. We're moving this to the 3 o'clock in our football segment. Today's top 5, though, is a bottom 5. We asked our friend Curt Kaplan to come up with the worst questions he has heard going into halftime or perhaps a post-game presser when the reporter is forced to ask some stupid question. We wanted to know the Curt's bottom 5 in the NFL. Curt, do we have any imaging around this, or do you need me to go with it?
Yeah, make
Curt's
some noises.
bottom 5.
That's
Number
a great sound
5.
effect right there.
Worst.
That's proper imaging right there.
Number 5, worst question to be asked by a reporter going into halftime. What do you got?
What needs to change in the second half, Coach?
It's the worst.
I love this one. I love it because there is a moment of silence where the coach has to think, you really just asked me that.
Okay, Captain Obvious. If you just watch the first 30 minutes.
How about the score?
The score, our effort, everything we did in the first 30 minutes needs to change.
My favorite answer is, if we can only score more points than the other team, we're going to win this ball game. I love that answer. How about number 4? Worst thing to ask a coach coming into halftime from a reporter. Curt's bottom 4. What is it,
We're actually
Curt?
out of halftime. What did you say to your team in the locker room?
I like this one. I am guilty of this one all the time, especially earlier in my career.
Yeah.
It's always a thing. And then I failed to realize, after the 5th time asking, they're never going to tell me.
No.
What they really said.
None of your damn business speech.
Stop
That's what I
asking.
told them. I'm not telling you a damn thing about what I just. Why would I tell you? You weren't in there. I'm not going to tell you.
I've heard
I told them to try.
I mean, Antonio Brown would tape it, but other than that.
I heard I've given them the Nunya address. No, what's Nunya? Nunya business. Yeah. Number 3, worst thing to ask a coach going into halftime.
Or coming out.
Was this what you were expecting?
And that's usually a major blowout. So let's throw the other team under the bus.
Yeah.
Or you're getting majorly blown out. And it's like, wow, you did a really bad job coaching this week, didn't you? You weren't expecting this.
I agree.
We got to save these for our sideline reporter, Adam Giardino, before he goes out to
he can rate
Mora.
them.
Mora's great at these, though. Adam, for Adam's defense, Adam is just like everyone else in this. This is a horrible job. This is one of the worst things to ask somebody to do in the world of sports broadcasting. And Adam, in the second quarters of some games, has looked at me and talked to me through the wireless like, what the hell am I going to ask?
Right.
Well, I mean, I think Paul Maurice of the Florida Panthers should do a symposium on this
clinic.
and just a clinic because he's the best. You could ask him any ridiculous questions and he'll have a smile and he'll give you a great answer. I mean, well thought out answer.
Mora's really good at smoothing it over, even if it's a bad one. He'll try to correct you on maybe the things that you're missing, and then make you feel so stupid for asking. Now, I'm not saying Adam. I'm saying other people.
No, because listen, they know you have a job to do, but also at the same time, I'm not going to give you, if they're a smart head coach, not going to give you a soundbite. I'm not going to give you something that you could throw out there and make me look bad. It's even, listen, I could bring up Aaron Boone the other day. He has to bench Gleyber Torres for him not running out a ball that hit the fence, right? But then after he goes on there and he blathers on forever trying to defend this guy. No, this guy did something really stupid. I had to bench him. That's it. That's all I need to say. But he's got to be better.
For those, like Aaron Boone's got 30 minutes, 40 minutes. He's got 2 hours if he wants. For these, you don't want to waste.
You got 30 seconds.
Right. And I've got to get back to my team, man. I ain't got time to. What was the third question, Curt? What was I expecting it to go so wrong? Like, I am totally focused in the next kickoff, the next play, to either not lose this big lead or get back into this game. Like, I really want to pontificate on why this happened.
My favorite was the back and forth always between Popovich and Sager.
Yes, that was that's where all this started.
Yeah.
That's where all this started. How about number 2? Worst thing to ask a coach going into halftime.
What are you feeling after this win?
How about what are you feeling after this loss? How about that one?
Either way, I mean, the win,
That's
you're
not
like,
number one.
well,
You never talk to the coach after he loses.
relief that I'll get to keep my job another week, I guess. I mean,
What am I feeling after this win? Usually, and this is more as like first words, and I've heard Harbaugh do it too. Feels great. Next question. How about the number one thing you do not ask a coach going into halftime? Worst generic question in the book, according to Curt. Number 1.
Are you happy with your team's performance?
You don't like that one?
I don't like that one.
That one's good for any situation.
Now, I'll give you one that I like. And it was asked to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coach, Jim McKay, who was asked about his team's execution, and he said he was for it.
you're right. That was fantastic.
What was number 1 again? What was your number 1?
Are you happy with your team's performance?
Happy with your team's performance. Yes, that is
Because
so
I've seen
generic.
that on losing efforts as well.
But that you can ask the guy at the popcorn stand. Are you happy with your team's performance? He can give you an
John
answer on
McKay.
that.
Jim McKay was the announcer from ABC.
Yes.
John McKay.
I was thinking the same thing.
Not to correct you, but it was John McKay. I wanted to give him credit. Because that dude always had the look
had a
of
great
death
one.
on you anyway. He didn't like anything or anybody. Always wore those dark glasses so you couldn't see his eyes.
And they were the Yucks. The Yuccaneers.
Yeah.
Back
I mean,
then.
and
they were terrible
They
in
had
those.
dreamsicle ice cream uniforms. They didn't look like pirates.
He always
And the
had
new ones
something,
do,
though.
but those did not.
He did not want to answer any question.
And look at this: the many McKayisms, creamsicle week. This is the headline that I'm reading on YouTube. I'm like, they were awful uniforms, but I liked them. It's like the Astros and their rainbow uniforms. Those are hideous.
I love those.
To the point where you were like, okay, I could see this. This is not a bad uniform.
He was once quoted as saying, well, we weren't blocking very well, but we tried to make up for that by not tackling.
I'm going to track these. I'm going to try to track these during the season.
By the way, that was
some of the worst
1975.
questions.
He said,
Yeah.
Are you for the team's execution, coach? Yes.
Yes.
What do you think of your team's execution? I'm all for it.
I think that was the year that went over, right?
I don't know.
Had to have been. Had to have been. I'm going to start saving these, Curt. See if Adam throws any of them out. Are you happy with your team's performance? I think is one of his faves that he keeps in his back pocket. But I'm going to start tracking these and just seeing where we are with Adam and with because
We'll just have dings.
I mean, like
We won't tell them it's going on.
But every college football game is broadcast now has this. Every college football game broadcast as far as television and radio. Like, we're doing it on radio. So imagine that across the country, 133 programs plus D2s. Then think of just the amount of NFL games that we've got. Like preseason, we're going to be having this every week, and it's going to be so pointless. Like, everybody knows how pointless this is, and no one knows more than the two people actually conducting this, the coach and the interviewer. And I'm going to start tracking them. See if we can should I track the bad ones to keep up with that, or should I track ones that actually have some good meaning to them?
You got to track the good ones.
Okay, I'll
If he
see how
comes
many
up with a
good ones
one.
I get.
Here was a good John McKay quote. He said, "We can't win at home. We can't win on the road." He said, what we need is to play at a neutral site." Oh, my goodness.
It's a reasonable request.
No, but I mean, we're going through that with the White Sox. Can you imagine being the coaching staff every day?
Can you
going through all of
imagine
that,
a fifth
and it's
inning
just like-
interview with the White Sox coach tonight?
Yeah, Coach, we're going to put the headset on you in the fifth inning.
Coach, are you surprised by this 20-game losing streak?
What do you think of your team's effort in the last 20 games?
It's another one, Curt. Give me another one.
Let's go to the bottom of the list.
Yeah, I thought you had the list.
What needs to change in the second half?
What needs to change? What needs to change?
Probably my
My
shorts.
entire pitching staff,
In
my
the fifth
offense.
Gosh,
Oh,
poor.
God.
Who is this guy again?
I don't even know.
Because he was on a rant and raving start. Like, he was getting fights with all the umpires, and then I think that was when they were like 6 games under 500, like 4-10.
Pedro Griffall.
Pedro, the guy they're going to fire before next season.
Pedro's going to take the Griffall for everybody.
Pedro will take the Griffall for all of this.
Yes.
And good luck to him tonight, though, man. I'm rooting for the White Sox now.
Forbes says the White Sox aren't doomed for long. What does that mean?
Because they're going to sell the team. This is Forbes, so they're selling the team, and those people are going to make a lot of money.
You know who's been the best through this has been, people may miss it, but I watch it because, you get a lot of these live feeds now. Ozzie Guillen has just been ripping them. He's been fantastic.
We brought him up on Friday, watched a lot of Ozzie video, and
dude, he's been fantastic.
Starting to think that's the answer. Starting to think that's the answer in the South Side. That'd be a whole new ball game on the South Side.
Yeah, but the difference is I respect Ozzie. I played with him. I know what he's all about. These newbies, they don't care. They don't care. He'd be screaming at deaf ears. They're not listening to that. They're like, yeah, okay, whatever, buddy. I mean, I made minimum $750,000. I don't care what you say.
It'd be great for us, though.
Oh, it'd be fantastic. But like I said, like when I tune in after another loss, I don't care what they did on the field. I just want to listen to how Ozzie sees what they did on the field. And he just rips guys for just ridiculous stuff.
Imagine asking Ozzie any one of those 5 questions.
Ozzie, what they should do is have Ozzie mic'd up during the game. Watching the game would be worth it. That would probably get better ratings than the game.
Live beeper, though. You need somebody to beep them. Like really quick on the trigger and paying attention.
And you'd need like 7 of them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back to the first dibs question of the day. Don't forget, we got Don Memori coming up at 4:25 from the Hartford Current.